we've got the access to the keys. What cool feature I found also on this truck, you need to have that one out as well, yeah? Stupid, yeah? The duty chart of this PK 200-002. Another advantage over the mobile crane in these type of cranes is, as you can.
Hello and welcome into another week of Norway Special. Please forgive me before we start. Please like, subscribe, comment and share this video so we can ensure that this channel is growing accordingly. By the way, while we still have your attention before we start, we have still our stickers available for sale, so if you're interested in purchasing, please find the link in the description below. First of all, we would like to start the video with the lower range of capacity of the loader cranes that Dan Eriksson has in their fleet, starting with Palfinger PK 42002. And on this moment we would like to apologize for slight interference in the sound quality, which I do apologize for that. Oh well, lesson learned. We have to move on. Let's get into the video.
So this is a hybrid type of the truck, I call it, because not only you can use it as a crane, but you can use it as a taxi, so-called taxi, because you just basically remove the demountable body, take it off with a crane, put it to side, and as I mentioned before, you can hitch that truck, this for example, a semi-trailer, extend it or keep it short as it is in this form, and have a variety of loads transported with a crane. Then if you need to deploy it as a crane, you just basically put the demount body on, keep it in the form of a crane in the tight situations, for example. Also, this crane can also pull the drawbar trailer because it has a VBG hitch. That's why I call it hybrid, because it's kind of a multi-tool of the industry with the capacity of demounting the body, putting the semi-trailer on, flat trailers on, wafer decks trailers on, and then you can basically put the demount body back on and run it with a standard drawbar trailer if you want, or just run it as a standard crane with no trailer, basically purely as a rigid state. Truck is driven by Mike, lovely guy. He's been operating cranes for 3 years, I think, from what I remember. Now he's driving this very crane featuring PK 92002. We can also see that the winch, I didn't think it was possible. I thought it was only possible on the bigger cranes, but I can see the winch is already pre-rigged through the main arm and, from what I can see, through the fly jib as well. So it's ready to be mobilized as a hoist, which is cool. Truck also features V8, not sure what size it is. I guess it's a 560, 580, I'm guessing. 520 maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Mike, tell me if I'm saying the porkies. Truck we've seen on, I think, Tuesday. We went other side of Oslo to lift 4 pallets of slates that were made in Poland. Lithuanian guys were the roofers who were actually unloading the slates on top of the roof. The situation was pretty tricky because Mike had to set up the crane under the insulated power lines, which is another new thing. I've never seen it in Britain. Usually the wires are exposed and you have to keep the minimum distance of 3 meters if it's mounted on the wooden poles. So yeah, that's another difference in this country that so far I've seen. Like I said, this is a short body, demountable. You can put 1, 2, 4, you can put 6 pallets of stuff. So it's pretty decent. What I also like on Mike's truck is like a double feature. Not only that he has a blind spot mirror for the corner to see whether there's any cars in the very corner of the truck on the near side. Also he has a mounted camera where it's paired with a screen inside the cab, and also it has a nicely positioned camera, so it's not as high. Normally they mount it in the UK, they mount it here for the purpose of seeing cyclists, but here they took it to the next level. They put it lower so the wagon driver can see how low and how close he can get to the obstacles, which are very low. Sometimes it's difficult to gauge and judge the distance, looking by just the blind spot mirrors. With the additional camera here, you're sweet and good to go. instead of mounting the camera like I've seen on the stupid builds, believe me, some people were putting cameras before the crane was actually installed onto the chassis. They were putting the cameras behind the on top of the cabin, behind the cabin, where after installing the crane, that camera was useless because all you could see is just the side of the crane, so it's pointless. Here, they put it on the headboard on top of it, so now the driver has the chance to actually see both the load and what it's actually reversing into. You can see two different ways of dealing with rear projection. Yeah, you can extend both on these trucks. You can extend the bed by 1.5 meters, and on this particular truck, which is the 92. No, this is one with 165. Yeah, this is a 165. That's Anders' truck. This back bit, the body, extends by 1.5 meters, also at the same time with the crash bar. And the tricky bit is, in Norway, not sure about the other countries, but in Norway, let's say you have a 6-meter container which sticks out by 2 meters, for example. It's legal because it's within the projection limits. If you take that one out and leave that one in, it's illegal. This one is different because you can extend the body separately to the crash bar. You can leave crash bar in and extend the body, or you can leave that one in and extend the crash bar, but it's no point because you only need a crash bar when the back body is extended.
Okay, we've had a quick run through the lower range of loader cranes of the Dan Ericsson fleet. Let's move on to the bigger cranes, starting from Volvo FH540 with a PK 165 002. Let's check it out.
Let's talk about the lifting chart of this 165 ton-meter crane. This one has 9 hydraulic extensions on the main arm, reaching maximum of 21 meters and capable of lifting 4.8 ton. If you add the fly jib, which is already on it, if you add the fly jib, it has 6 hydraulic extensions, pushing the reach towards just over 33 meters and capacity of lifting just over 1.1 ton. As you can see, it has a winch rope. It looks like a 10mm or 13mm rope. I'm not quite sure, we'll have to just measure it, but we haven't got any device to measure it. I assume it's good enough for pulling 2.5 or 3 ton in a single pull configuration. Then you double it if you actually double the drops on the rope line. And I think you can have a cut head to actually increase the number of folds to 4, and then you have 4 times capacity of the line. Also, the standard in Norway is a compulsory equipment in the form of snow chains. Obviously not today, but there will be a time in the winter time, and people are actually tired of the amount of snow it falls in this country. Without them, you will go nowhere. Obviously, this crane is also capable of pulling the drawbar trailer because it's equipped with a VBG hitch. This one has a manual crash bar, so it's compulsory in Norway because if the body extends, and in this case scenario, this one is possible to extend to 1.5 meters. This one also has followed the suit to be compliant. This one is equipped with a pretty big tank, although it's not the biggest one I've seen, but this one, on my guess, is around 400 liters, so it's good enough. Depends how far you go, but from what I've heard, these cranes work a lot around Oslo area, so most of its time they are used as a crane rather than the pulling drawing vehicle.
We had a quick run through the PK165. Anyway, let's move on to the biggest top of the range of Dan Ericsson Kranen transport fleet, which is PK 200 002 LSH, and it's not just one. Dan Ericsson has 3 of them, and there are only 3 in the whole Norway. Also, a lot of people are asking questions such as, why would you want a crane of this size? You can always use the mobile crane. Yes, you could. But there are applications, special applications, where the use of such a big loader crane is actually more beneficial than using the mobile crane. and let's get on to it now.
Even though by the first look the both cranes look the same, but they are not. This one has been programmed in mind to lift high and far. I mean, the first boom is programmed to be opened slightly higher up towards the vertical, which equals you can lift higher up onto the buildings, and with a fly jib you can just send stuff on top of the roof, let's say in the narrow situations. Whereas Scania one has a little bit, it's not a disadvantage, it's just not been programmed in the same goal in mind as the Volvo, because the first boom doesn't open as high up enough as the Volvo one, which means this one is better geared up towards lifting in the long reach situations, like in the example of the jacuzzi that we lifted yesterday. A lot of people ask the question, what is the point of building such a big crane on the 5 axles where you can use a mobile crane, which is cheaper? Really? Some situations you can, but working with this crane in the narrow places like town centers, trying to lift stuff up onto the, let's say going high 30 meters and with a limited amount of space to set up, and then you can put 13 meters. I'll have to just double check on the fly jib chart. You can send the fly jib with a load up on top of the roof, where you wouldn't be able to do it with the mobile crane. Also, another advantage of these cranes is the better axle weight distribution, because in Norway there's a lot of places where you have a limitation on the roads, axle weight limitations, where with the 5-axle crane you can get into the places where mobile crane can't do. Another advantage over the mobile crane in these type of cranes is, as you can see, you can leave the winch block attached, so it's ready for action as soon as you set up the crane, where you can't do it with a mobile crane. Basically, it's operational from the moment you put the legs down, open the jib up, and it's ready for lifting. As long as you can see it's already hook block, ballast, and everything is already on it, so it's ready to go. Speed of deployment is much greater. What's the most important aspect of operating such a large loader cranes by the operator is the hands-on on the load, really, because the operator can manage the situation by operating the crane 45 meters away from the crane, being at the spot where the action happens, and he can he can place loads with the immense precision because of the remote control and his eyes and his judgment right at the action, where you can't do that with a mobile crane because you have to rely on the slingers and banksmen and other people. The duty chart of this PK 200-002, as we said, this one has a maximum reach with a fly jib of 45 meters and capacity of lifting half a ton. Max lift in the vertical. Wow, look how significantly it increases. If you take it up to 80 degree angle, take it up high, it has a vertical reach of just under 49 meters by the look of it. And now look how the capacity increases as the boom goes up. It goes up to 80 degrees, and look, it reaches just under 49 meters and it's capable of lifting 6.2 tons. That's amazing. Then let's have a look. Let's say if you want to ditch the crane, you want to ditch the fly jib, so you operate with just a main boom. The maximum capacity, it has 40 tons in a close range. The maximum capacity at full extension, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 extensions, you can lift just under 4 tons at 25.4 meters on the flat stick. By the look of this chart, if we go on this one, if you go high up at 80 degrees vertical angle, and this one will lift 10.4 ton. So let's wrap it up. We would like to thank Dan Eriksson and his team for allowing us in their lifting zone. It was a great pleasure to be part of the team for a week. We would like to give a big thanks and shout out to all the team, including Anders. Big thanks to Tommy, big thanks to Frank, Maria, Mike and Mette, and anyone who haven't met yet. I hope we're gonna see ourselves soon again. In the meantime, let's find the weekend.